Hey guys, you got Lady Hippy at the bar, and of course, I'm in production mode at the moment. It's for entertainment purposes only, and I'm pretty good at entertainment. He'll be here all week. Please leave your tips at the bar. I tell you what, I'm having one of those mornings. It was my husband who reminded me that today I had a hair appointment. I love my guy. His name is Victor, and he owns the salon, of course. And I try to go as often as I can, um, just to support a local business, especially during the pandemic. People just didn't get their hair done. I did. Vic was really great. I would just come. Is there any possibility we could tighten up my bangs? He said, "Come on, Vic." Cost me Marilyn. He loves Marilyn Monroe. Every picture in there is a black and white of Marilyn. And I always go in and I say Farrah Fawcett, me, and he laughs and says, they don't say that anymore. I said, I don't care. I'm old. So, what? And so, yeah, I'm fidgeting again. And at that point, I was doing one of those. I'll grab a hot bath later. I'm going to clean the house and make banana pudding and, get the steaks ready, the usual household things. And my husband called down to say that he had just gotten another record call, but it was in South Carolina. So it was going to be like dark 30 when he got home. And I was like, okay, that means I have to cook right away. He said, no, I'll get some takeaway. He's gotten to where what do you call it in the United States? I call it takeaway, like they did in I forget what it's called in the United States. Anyway, it's to bring home. And and then he said it's like 9 o'clock at this point, and I've already started, doing the bedding. I see, and I go the wrong way. Just visit when I go to, So here I am. I'm, dressed and for the love of Mike, it just won't lay right when I'm trying to get it. And I love the little. There's three or four that I just adore. And anyway, it was like 9 o'clock. And he said, honey, you remember you've got a hair appointment today? I was like, oh my God, I forgot I had to go to the salon. And it was really cool of him to remind me because he was about to dash himself. And he says, well, how much is it again to get your hair done? And I told him, and he said, well, how are you going to pay for that? I said, on my card, like I always do, our debit cards. He says, you don't have to do that. Come upstairs. I'm giving Ghost her breakfast and grabbing a shirt, but come on up because I got to run. And so, yes, he keeps his clothes in that closet, and there's a bed in there too. And generally, because I can't sleep if he's snoring. So that's where he basically lives, really. So I ran up there because I also have to check Ghost. She's the one that goes into anaphylactic shock, and we still have not really found out why. I swear I'll quit fidgeting at some point. And so I was like, oh my God, because he thinks it's funny. And so does my hairdresser. When I go to my hairdresser, when I go anywhere, I used to call it dressed right and covered down, the army motto. I mean, you had had a bath, what I'm saying? You done did the three S's or whatever. And your breast was done, your boots were done, your clothes were pressed. And I used to do a lot of my own. And so, I mean, you didn't fall out. Yeah. So, and I never did even as a kid. And he laughed and I said, I got to hit the shower. How fast do you have to go? Because I don't really care to take a shower by myself. My gun's usually about 60 feet away from me unless I take it into the bathroom. And I don't like to do that unless I have to. And he said, I'll wait for you to get out. Yeah, it was so cute. So I rushed through the shower, did the old army shower, got wet and got out. Yeah, I'm going to be here all week. Just hit the like bell. Hit the dislike bell. Get the old lady off the bar. I'm in a mood. And so, of course, that was really great. I jumped out. And then I realized I wasn't going to wear my white pants and a little white collared shirt with it's got little black stripes. And I think it's so cute. It's a De La Renta. I like that line. And he's so funny. But I finally had decided before he called me upstairs to grab a dress real quick. And I like this one. It's about 2 inches above the ankle, and it's got the full skirt that goes down. and it's like the old kind of 50s look. You could dance. I would have worn this to dance with my brother at the 50s bar. The flare, and it'll go out. And I love these dresses, and I buy them. Well, my husband used to buy them, and I didn't have a lot of income, but I've always tended to like these dresses, and I have like 400. So, so I run upstairs, and when I'm on the phone with him, I say, "You're going to help me put my brooch on, and I haven't got my nails done." And he's laughing. He says, "Just come up here." So I grabbed the brooch and I stuck it on. I was in such a hurry. I went ahead and just said, "Okay, right here until we get to it." And this one has pockets. I love that. It's got pockets. And so I get up there and he says, "Well, that's a good place for the brooch. It looks good. And I like what you're wearing. Looks great." He said, "Oh yeah, that's why I called you up here. You really want to put it on on the card?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I gotta pay him." And he said, "Well, it's so cute because you get all ready and you wash your hair and then you go to your hairdresser to get your hair done." And Vic knows that too. And so I said, "I know, babe, I've got time. The appointment's not till 2." And at that point, he said, "Well, how about this?" And he knows that I give at least a $15 tip. And a $5 tip to the young lady. Well, she's, I think, my age. Fran, who answers the phone and does all the running about, and she's great. And so my hairdresser charges me only $25. You can't find a better deal than that for hair to be done. Before I found him, I was paying 60 to have my hair done plus the $20 tip. So I always dropped that 20, 15 for him, 5 for her. And he was upset because he used to charge me 20 to get my hair done. And I've been going there for about 8 years. I could walk there. And I mean, like I said, even during the pandemic, Vic took care of me. Being older, I don't like my hair as long. And, you're looking at your brush and you're trying to get, and you're like, "How much hair left can I lose, Sarah? Do I need to look for a wig?" And so my husband's just dying laughing because when I ran up there to get the brooch and stuff done, I had my shoes also in my hand because I was in a hurry and I hadn't set my nails yet. And when I go, oh, my hairdresser would be so shocked, and so would Fran, the receptionist, if I did not dress well. If I One time I went in pants. They were not jeans, they were pants. It was a nice little set. And I went in and they both like, "You're wearing pants." So I don't like to disappoint. And Franny always says she's never seen me in anything twice. And she's seen me all around town. She's seen me at the Walmart and the little quick store down the street. And it's just not that big a town. So I do see her. And she says she's still never seen me in the same thing twice, which is cute. So I'm holding my shoes. Let me show you. I'm holding my shoes. And they're cute, aren't they? The piping matches the dress perfectly, and they're little, open toed. And so I had those with me, and I'm running up the steps, and I had just set my last nail, the makeup, everything was done. And he said, "Okay, so you're all ready to get your hair done, right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready." He said, "Why do you still wash your hair when you go in to see it?" So because you don't show up at the salon in dirty clothes and dirty hair. You just that I've never done that. Never, ever in my life have I gone to the salon with dirty hair, regardless of what they wash it with or whatever. I never go with dirty hair. I have to get there for one thing. And so he says, let me see. Oh, you're done the matching thing. Again, you've got your earrings on it, and my earrings are sapphire and diamond. I don't think you can really see them. And I had changed to the black necklace and the blue and gold or blue and silver brooch, I think it is. Yeah. And I do love the brooches. He's bought this for me. And I threw my jeweled hat on because I caught my hat, because I had to pull the hair back and be able to get the microphone and speakers and my little headphones to cooperate with me this morning. And so far, yeah, so good. I got it. I'm at the bottom. What can I say? So I was all excited. And he said, he knows Vic too. And he's gone in there and sat down, waited for me, but and talked to Vic while he's doing And lately, I'd say for the last 2 years, I just run in and get a dry cut because my back is so bad now. I can't lean back in that sink and let them do it. And Vic understood this because he too has the bad back. So now I run in and he says, Marilyn, you don't need a haircut. So okay, you need to tighten up a little bit. We ain't gonna give you no. He refuses to cut it short. I had to stop him twice one time and say, I want it shorter. And he was just upset. But it finally got finished. It was almost a military cut, and he had a fit. But I got home. My husband had a fit, and I loved it. I was like, it's less to take care of. You're not going to do as much damage because I dry mine, not badly, but I still style it because it's curly. It's like Shirley Temple stuck her hand in a light sock curly. So you had to put the body out and all that. So he had fun with that, and he said, "Yeah, here," and he handed me a water bill. So I said, "What's this for?" Because I had just gone to the store and dropped 200 yesterday, and he had come home and he had brought me 2 packs of my cigarillos instead of one because I've been doing so well. He's cool like that. Isn't that cool? No, I did not ask him to do that. It was very late by then. And so he says, he hands over this wad of cash and says, "This should be enough. How much of a tip do you leave?" He says, "I forget how much I put there. How much did I give you?" And he gave me $60 or $70. I have to look myself now, $60, $70. And I said, "Darling, my haircut, even with the tip, is only $40." And he said, "That's okay. You'll have a little left in your pocket that way, and you won't have, I don't like you to go around without money in your pocket." That was so sweet. It was very sweet because for one, I'd forgotten I had to go get my hair done. And two, I expected to add it to the budget. In fact, I had already deducted it on the slide that I use. And that was really cool of him to say, "Here, babe, you take this as everything you need." And so I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, look at you. Everything matches." Because I had the shoes, like I said. I said, "Yeah, I don't want to disappoint." He says, "They haven't seen you since last year at Christmas." He pays attention to those things. I'll forget. And I said, "It's really been since Christmas." And he said, "Yeah, remember you took over a big plate of cupcakes and brownies for Christmas." And I did. I took 2 plates over. And I had completely forgotten. I did not remember when I had last seen Victor. I'm surprised he didn't call me because he's like that or show up and just do it at the house. He's a great dude, and he's had his his place for decades, and he lives above it. And he's never open on Sundays. And he's just so funny. And I don't know. I like being there. And it's a small place. This isn't a fancy salon. It's not one of those, 300 hair washed and cut 2 inches off kind of thing. And when I explained that my back with the problems I had, I could not lean back and do the hair anymore. Um, and mind you, that's an extra. Yeah, you'll drop 60 if they do that, plus your tip. And it wasn't so much that, it was just I could not, lay back against the stone sink, and that I couldn't do it. And I tried to do it the last time, and I just said, "Please hurry," because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm going to sit up. My body's just going to sit up if you don't finish. They did finish real quick. And Victor heard me, and he came running over and he said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, but where they did that work on my back, I'm not, that's so painful." He said, "Well, we won't do that. You come here every time with your hair just washed." He had actually pointed that out before. And I said, "Yeah, I do." He says, "Yeah, you're the only one that does." But no, sweetheart, I can dry cut it. I don't even have to wet it. If we have to wet it, I'll spray it a little bit. Don't you worry about that. He's so sweet. And every time when I come in, he compliments me on the way I'm dressed. And when I get ready to leave, I always, leave the tip for him with Fran. And he always yells, "Marilyn," and there'll be a waiting room full. "What do you want, big?" You know. He said, "I just wanted to make sure that was bouncing a little bit." So funny. And I just adore him. And I like the fact that you don't have to pay a kidney to get your hair done. Generally, I used to go every 2, 3 months, but I kept it really short there for about 2 years. Robert didn't say anything. It's just it's your hair. But then he was like, I really don't like it that short. But we keep it, like shoulder length. Well, now, as you can see, it's really shoulder length now. But my bangs are down here. And so this is another reason for all these goofy headbands. Although he says he likes this one. He says it looks like I have a coronet. He's Yes, he's a very sweet husband. He really is. And you feel better after you get comments like that. And I'm getting ready to run downstairs to finish up. And he says, "Do the twirl." So I did the little twirl. He said, "It's great. You can't see or slip it off." So we're both in a good mood this morning. Again, this is one of my uh, De La Renta dresses from Burlington. And I love these because you don't pay 550. You pay this one. I think was 40 something. And I also buy them from Temu, and I also get my Halloween costumes if I change up, like I did for the 20s, and I get my 50s dresses from there. So and it's great because they are not so expensive, so I can get 2 or 3. So I have a closet. I mean, full of dresses. Formals, I have too many of. A lot of dresses, which I generally don't wear in the winter. All kinds of short blouses and things like that, and skirts. So I have a lot of clothes. And so he knew I was going to come out. As he put it, you're going to be out glamoring. I know you. And he thought it was good because he's been there and he sat there for me and waited. And the others that come in for it will be in shorts or jeans or. I'm the only one there that's got her hair done, her makeup done, she's in a dress. I don't. At that one time I wore the pants, they reacted so funny that I've never done that again. And they always point out as I'm getting ready to leave, come back and see us sooner. We miss you. You look great again, by the way. They always throw us at it again. So it's like old home week for me out there. I've been going there a while, so I'm looking forward to that. I have some time. I swear. I was getting, like I said, I was getting ready to do something else totally, and so everything was a change up. Get the hair, get nails. I didn't have nails on because I was going to work. I was in pants and a nice shirt. It's true. Even my friends and some of his family will say, "Do you ever wear the same thing twice? You're cleaning the house is something I would wear out to church." I was like, that's me. And I make a concession when I clean a house. Usually, if I pop up and I'm dressed this way, I'll throw on my flats. Right now, I'm wearing my flats, doctor's orders, with my back and so forth. And if you'll notice, the ones I'm going to wear, they have a wedge heel, so they don't have, that. I have a few. I sneak them in and wear them and put these back on or something more of a flat. So even though it looks like a heel, it's actually flat on my foot. And again, doctor's orders, do the back and several other things. So, and my husband pays attention to stuff like that. It's cute. He always gets my clothes. I can't find a thing, and he will walk through the same aisle I walk through and find 4, and they're perfect. They're what I was looking for, the right size. And he'll hand it to me, so you can't have but 2. But most of the time, I do just order them online, and I haven't ordered anything. I think in a year or so because I just have so many, and I had switched up to a larger size. Oh my God, yeah. Um, I told my husband if I hit double digits, I'd never eat again. So it's like that close. So another reason for the 50s, but I bought quite a few that are a size large when I usually wear a medium. But with the new medications and 60 something going on, and I had quit smoking, uh, yeah, I went up a size and I like it. My husband calls me chunky. It's a joke, but I'm like, yeah, I just call him old. Maybe I should. We're a good couple. We've been married this year in August. It'll be 35 years. That's pretty good. Mm. So that's my day in a nutshell, so to speak. Hence the nails and everything done right. I hope that is going to work. And this is again one of the dresses I love. I have actually everyone I have, I love. He even got me, I have the tartan, the shanta, tamaland. I don't know what y'all say here. It's just a beanie. I think I've worn one on here along with the dress that had my colors, and along with a scarf, and there's a lot goes to it. And the socks are $100, so you could. And these are handmade wool, and they're beautiful. You have to wash those by hand, and they are awesome. So you just never know what you might see me in up here, guys. Today is 50s, but you can't tell that. Not unless I stood up over here or somewhere and turned or something, which always makes me miss my brother so much. Um, so as he was getting ready to leave, he turned on the TV to music, and he put it on 50s music. I love Patsy Cline, and that's what she stopped on was Patsy Cline. And it says, "See you later, love." And out the door he went. And I was back off in the master bedroom. I came out, and again, he put the 50s music on and all that. So he's pretty cool. I give him credit where it's due. And I'm having one of those days, like I said. So nothing seemed to be going right at first. I couldn't believe it. I forgot I was supposed to go and see Victor today. Uh, thank God my husband reminded me, because I don't know what I would have still had to make my appointment no matter what, because I don't do things like that. But I would have ended up being in pants and a shirt. I wouldn't have been happy about that. You know, he always says, how does he put that? I glamour up the place or something along that line. He says that every time I go. He says, I'm going to get a picture of you and put you right next to Marilyn. And he cuts it in some ways, like in particular, there's a cut he likes on her. And I can switch my bangs either way when he does that. And it is her haircut. That's what he does. It doesn't seem like it, or the way I style mine also different. Because he'll also say that he's like, "You're not gonna leave it like this, are you?" I was like, "Nope." I'm honest. I'll tell you that, not a chance. That's too much work. I get a hair dryer. I have one with the roller brush at the end of it, so I blow it dry basically, and then style it, and it takes about 10 minutes, especially if it's a little shorter. And I straighten it and everything, and he does the straightening too, but he does a lot of things that I would not bother to take the time for. The regular cut suits me well. I'm not going down a walkway, so no red carpet things. So I'm good to go. Now I didn't see anything except again Iran is going nuts. Nothing surprising there. Reykjavik still has a huge earthquake going on. There was someone besides. There was another earthquake, and I can't. Besides California and Taiwan, and it was a fairly bad one. And it might have been Japan yesterday. So that was it. That's all they had. And okay, so that's current events for the day. Done and dusted. So you're all going, what the hell is she talking about? I wanted to remind everybody again, please, please, please hit the like. If you've got time, subscribe. It's free. And again, you can remove that if you want to in like 5 seconds. You do, and by the way, when you subscribe, you'll get an as you probably already know, but you don't have to look at it at that point. It's just telling you it's live, and I keep live chat up, and I try to put it on Facebook as well. If you see it on YouTube, you can still hit the like and the share and subscribe. Please, please, please. I'm getting so close to my algorithms. I have to use that term where I won't know what's going on. Basically, I have to have so many subscribers and X amount of likes. And I don't know if they count the dislikes, so you can throw those into. We are at the bar, and our bar is a big bar. It looks maybe not. Here I'm on one corner. It would take at least two of me to end to end to get to the other end. That's how long it is. And then it's got that shape on its sides. It's not round, it's squared. And then it's got a sink like there, and it's got it's awesome. It's a really great bar. It's got the matching huge mirror that goes in. It's over there. So I haven't changed the camera around yet, which I have right now. A lot of wine glass. I know I put the shot glasses in my the oldest stein I have. It's a golden lid and so forth. And I got it before I went to Germany, so it's old. I have others, but neither my husband or I are drinkers. And I used to drink I used to drink ale and so forth when I was in Europe. I don't like beer. I don't know what they do with that stuff, but it's just terrible. It's just awful. Generally, I use a brown liqueur, whiskey, scotch, whatever. And I prefer scotch, aged scotch. And there are several different types I like. Glenlivet is one of my favorite, which my grandson bought me for Christmas. God, I love that. I have one about every morning. I call it my stiffener because by the time I get off here, I'm weirded out because I'm really just talking to you guys because I really don't have any news. There's really not much going on, which is actually a good thing if you think about it. And then I wanted to start cleaning up a little bit before I go. And then I'm thinking, you're in a dress. And generally that would not hinder me. But I don't want to be hot, sweaty, or any of those things when I get to Victor's. I don't know. I guess it turns into, for me, it's kind of like it's expected. Um, Walmart's the same way. I'll walk into Walmart and 10 of the girls that are standing there moving the ballots, that's what they do. Uh, I don't know. Oh my God, your pants or something to that effect. So I tend to wear skirts or dresses or whatever when I leave the house. So I have a lot of them, which is a good thing. I did not spend a lot of money to buy them for anyone else that wants to look at those. I think they were around $10 a piece, and I wear the crap out of them. And I did not dry clean them because dry cleaning them costs more than what I paid for them. They want like $30 to do a dress. It's like you're nuts. Yeah, you know this is before the pandemic. Now it's probably 90 to do a piece of a dress, whatever. And it's like no. So I do my own. I wash them, rinse them, and I have a setting in my washer so it can be done by hand. And then when it's done, I wrap it up in a towel and I stick it in the freezer. And while it's still wet, I put it in the freezer. And my ex mother in law taught me this. And then when it's frozen, if I want to wear it, like say the next day, I'll take it out, put it on my ironing board, and and it looks just like I took it to the cleaner. So there's no difference. It's a really cute trick. If you don't want to pay those costs, try that. Also, do a sample. Usually, guys, if they send you a piece of cloth along with the buttons, that is for you to test to see if you can wash it. So it's kind of important. If you did, for years I didn't know what that was. Again, my mother or ex-mother-in-law showed me that what that was. And same for the buttons. I have whole drawers full of, buttons in plastic because if I lose one, I can go through there and find out which one it is. I had my raincoat is a London, and I prefer those. I used to buy them over there. Well, I bought two over there. So my husband made sure that I had the London raincoat and all that. So I don't know how many coats I have because I also use the type of like Elizabethan coat with the tails behind in it, so it flows. It's tied with in the back, sometimes in the front. And many times I've gone into the VA and they're all beautiful coat. These are the guys, love the coat kind of thing. And the women too, and they want to know where I got it, so I tell them. Oh, there they go again. It's the Kitty 500. You see now why I have a stiffener in the mornings, right? I haven't a damn thing to talk about. The cats are all stupid, so I try to hang in there and get stupid too. I did watch Jaguar Wright, I like her a lot, and I was glad to see her and that she was okay. There was some bad things going on in the 90s. Uh, Rap was new, hip hop was coming out. If you remember or you've heard that back when Tupac was shot and killed, and now it's falling apart. It's they're going to get a couple of people. Apparently, there was a lot of things they shouldn't have been doing. But the more money you have, the more people can be paid off. And things can be lost. And, he was actually charged for a. Well, he was going to be charged, and another guy who was with him. And believe it or not, J Lo was with him. Interesting, right? And they're in a New York nightclub, and suddenly somebody's firing, uh, and one woman was shot directly in the face, and she swore when she was able. She did. It hit right here. It went up through her eye and exited out the side. So she wears a set of glasses that covers all that damage. Lovely woman said that this man actually looked her straight in the face and shot her in the face. And she said that before they were wheeling her into the operating room, and I'm not going to repeat that because you have to look at it. Stuff. I don't want to say things that may not be true about this person. They are investigating. It looks like there's a whole lot more that was going on here. People are coming forward. Uh, I mean, J Lo, Bianca, Obi, she up in there too. So is Kim Kardashian. That one surprised me. Paris Hilton, another surprise. There were a lot of people that we didn't hear from for a little bit after the 21st century started. And they'd only just started kind of coming back in, the entertainment news. Jaguar Wright left because they were going to kill her. And she had, I believe, two sons, and they're grown now. But the woman is like me. She stays armed, and she don't trust nobody, and she has reason. They've actually said to her, we're going to kill you. Shut up, or we'll kill you. Jaguar's not scared. She don't shut up. I love the woman. And if you want to see her or catch the clips on YouTube, or tell me and I'll drop them. She's got a 3-part series with another podcast about what she knew and had experienced in that lifestyle and why she left that lifestyle. So I mean, because she loved what she was doing. She's good at what she did. Songwriter, rapper. She's good. She's still good, and it's been a long time. You look at it now. It's 2024. So the 90s were 34 years ago. And that would be like 99 only. So, last stuff. For my age group, it was the 70s and 80s. I don't know. Everybody has to have a decade to screw something up. And then that New York shootout, is his friend who was with him. He got sentenced to 10 years. Apparently, J Lo would always bring the weapon in her purse. Same with Kim, his other. I don't know if she was common law married or not, but we'll say girlfriend. So the women have to carry this in for him. I don't know why, but they did. So J Lo was ended up to her neck too. But of the three, Shane was the other, I think. Of the three, the one boy took, it seems to me, all the mess. Like it was all him. That he brought the gun, it was his gun, he shot. So he did 10 years. And the other people, I believe this may have been when J Lo went through a divorce or through a breakup, whatever. She'd been with Ben Affleck off and on. They say she's one of the most mean and rude women to people who she considers below her status. And that includes her personal secretary or whatever you want to call that. Ben Affleck. She's got Ben Affleck coming after her again. He had an alcohol problem. He was definitely going down the wrong road, and he went and got help. And I was watching some show that they were on the Grammys or something. And he was sitting there at a table, and he had a drink, and she was coming back up. I don't know if she was wanting the ward or she walked somewhere. Then she came over and she picked up his drink, and he stood up, and I thought, oh, here we go. I didn't even know that was going to go on. And just the best thing about the show. And she actually took a drink of his drink to make sure it didn't have any alcohol. Um, so he was having a lot of trouble. That's not a good thing for a wife to do um, on national TV. She knew wherever she went, there was the camera following her. They might have spliced it, cut it, whatever later. And I can't remember if this was a live show. I believe it was. But to do that, that's a bad look for her husband. And they were married then, and now they're back together. I don't think they've married, but she's in this up to her neck too in that New York shooting, and there one person died. So there's no, it's not going to run out. It's going to be there. There is no statute of limitations on murder. And the young lady who was shot in the face, um, I don't know what would be covered for her. I'm sure she'll be testifying because she said they flat out looked her in the face, looked her eye to eye, and still shot her right in the eye. And she was just an innocent bystander. She didn't even know these people. Young girl, young girl. Because this has been 30 odd years now that this happened. And then J-Lo suddenly was with Ben Affleck. So if you want to know all the stuff that was going on, Tupac killed and all this stuff, listen to the podcast with Jaguar Wright. She's so funny. And there's parts 1, 2, and 3. And I've watched all of them. She had a hard life too to grasp what was going on around her, to understand that this wasn't right. And mind you, this was a time of rich. You had a lot of money. Everybody had a lot of money. So it was drugs, sex, and rock and roll time. You know, it's like I said, 70s, 80s for we hippies. Uh, you couldn't pay me to go to a concert now. I don't even care who it was. Well, I'm Steve Perry. Yeah, I might pay to see that. Love Steve Perry. On Journey, and when he quit, they put somebody in, but they didn't make it after that because he was their lead singer. He was a vocalist, and his wife was diagnosed with cancer. So he quit the band, and because he wanted to take care of his wife, and she just died, I think 10 years ago. And they saw him getting some groceries at some store, and with the mic, he was great about it. He aged very well, I thought. I still love him, and so I don't know about the rest of you, but I see that most of the music on things, even commercials, is our music. It's our generation's music. It's the hippies' music. It's not music from 2023. It's not rap. It's not hip hop. It's us. It's Sammy Hagar and Iron Maiden. It's the good stuff. I see I've managed to talk to you guys for 37 minutes and not tell you a damn thing. Now that is entertainment, fellas. Because I have to sit here and I'm looking at me. I can do the pitch in a box, but I don't have anybody in to put in there. Again, live chat's on, but it's a weekday, and both husband and wife are at work. It may be going from work to work again. To the second job. And my eyes just want to quit tearing today. My back is giving me a lot of grief. And my husband was telling me, because at one point he came to see me, see what was going on. And when this happens, I can't really sit or lay. I end up just leaning on the bed and waiting for the medication to work. It hurts that much. And he came in and he said, "Oh my God, it's hit you again." I said, "I'm going to burn this bed. I know it's the bed I'm worse, no matter what." So, well, it's time to get you a new mattress. And he just bought this one 2 years ago, I think, for $1,700. It's a ridiculous price. But so at this point now, it was just everything else. He came over and sprayed my back down with icy hot and got one of my pain patches and put that on the center. He knew where the pain's coming from. And then sat down in the bed and talked to me while I sat like this, laid down on the bed. I hate being seen that way. I really don't like that. I don't like those infirmaries to be obvious. But he talked about that was everything else and what we're going to do today and all that, so that helped. And then, the medication between the icy hot being sprayed and the meds kicking in, I could stand up. He said, no, you're not doing any more work. And I hadn't gotten to the kitchen yet, and I get all the kitty plates and I wash all those. And he was like, "No, you're good. Get your jammies, get a hot shower or hot bath, whatever you want to do. I'll finish the kitchen." And he did. He went and finished the kitchen and wiped everything down, loaded the dishwasher, ready to go. Came up, made sure all the animals had fresh water because I do that at night. I don't mean throw some water in from a cup. I mean clean their bowls because it's just like us. When we're taking something to drink, we spit in it. We don't need to, but we spit in it. They do too. And I have 7 or 8 bowls that they don't have to use all of it from the same bowl, but they like to go and see what the other one has. So his cats, I gotta say. Unfortunately, or fortunately, one of them just had a set of 4 babies, and God, they're so cute. Kittens, they're gonna be cute. But they've been eating because they're these little furry balls. It's like a huge ball with feet. It's funny as hell. I get a kick out of it. When the mother's looking, she'll bring them out underneath our table. We put that tarpaulin over it, and we put a bunch of the patio cushions in there because we're buying new ones. And I'll look under, she'll have, she'll be looking at me like, do you touch that? Because they'll run right up underneath where we found Great Ghost at. So there's a little space underneath the patio concrete, and they'll all run up. It's so cute. There's a little line of kittens, like dogs. It's so cute. But we know we can't feed 4 more. And so I'm trying desperately to find someone who wants kittens, and they're the cutest little babies. I'd say they're about 4 weeks old now. They didn't let us see them for 2 weeks because their eyes are open and they're little fur balls. I mean, they're eating a lot. I've seen them have kittens here, and I have a few that had to save their lives on Pixie's one. And usually they're just spare. They're just a bag of bones, and they're hurt. So, and that's how I ended up with so many inside because I couldn't treat them outside. I had to bring them inside to treat them. Pixie wouldn't have kept her eye. Her sister, that I'm babysitting for my friend, is Snowball, and she lost hers. She lost the sight in it. She took her to the vet. They told her it was too late. They couldn't save her sight. They could save her eye, but they couldn't save her sight. So she, if I'd have known that there was more than the one that was, that had, so it was like somebody had slashed her eyelid nearly off on Pixie. And it was, squeezing aloe on there and trying to get the green stuff off. And it was touch and go. And she still has one eye that's larger than the other. And that's the eye I saved, is the larger one. So it broke my heart to see that her sister was injured. And I didn't know. We just grabbed her. We just turned her loose and said, "Find one you want, and we'll grab it." In particular, I would have to because I feed them. And she picked that one. And I didn't think about it. And they weren't, probably 7, 8 weeks old, old enough to be weaned. So I just snatched her up and gave her to me, gave her to her rather, and she never told me that the cat had lost sight. So I was all freaked out when I got the cat, the baby. So I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" you know, and found out that I told my friend too. I said, "Why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you tell me?" It's just that. Well, I don't want to bother you about it. It's not your fault. I was like, "Oh, I know, sweetie, but there might have been a way to save her sight." Because it took her a month to save up the money to take the cat in, because they want, like I said, 600-700 up front. So it's ransom the animal. If you can't come up with that, I guess I don't know, because we can't. I mean, if we did, things wouldn't get paid. So and we really can't, because he leaves that up to me, and I wipe out all the bills up by the third. That's done. And he's good about the same thing. If I'm in the hospital, bills get paid first. If there's something left over, hallelujah, bring it on. Yeah, and we'll be broke by the end of the month, but we're good. Everything's paid. Even budgeting groceries, so we know if there's enough money to go to the theater, enough money to buy dinner out or whatever, you know. So we've had one of those days. And yesterday was so sweet. Um, like I said, he found me bent over. That's what he had cleaned the kitchen, but he stopped at Wife Savers, and I like their pot roast, and so he bought me pot roast and green beans, and I think it was French fries or something with it, and brought it. Oh no, it was onion rings, and brought that home. That was the takeaway, Brian. He knows I love lifesavers. God, everything is so expensive though since the pandemic. Since the pandemic, everything has doubled because we've eaten at these places for over 10 years and just about the same thing, really. And I'm talking, it's at least $5 to $10 more than it was 4 years ago. I don't think they need that much money, but I'm not working there. I don't know. I don't own it. Here you go. Here's the tip. I'll eat out next week when I have a kidney. I don't know. I see I had trouble with this today. And I'll have to find time. And my eyes, this is killing me. I could just walk to Victor's. Of course, that would be, and it's got a sidewalk. I actually have a sidewalk all the way there. There's two subdivisions after mine, and then the highway. And he's right on the highway. But if I walk and everything, I'm all sweaty. So I take the car. And it's just like right now, I can't get things done because I can't see, even especially with makeup. Without makeup, I'm still doing it, but it's not as bad. So I'm like, okay, now what else can we get and throw at me today? This is good to throw to me. Oh yeah. Mm. I love Glenlivet. 14-year-old Scotch. Yes, it brings that blood pressure right up. But I do love my grandson. He knows his grandmother very well. He sure does. My husband was funny about that too. He's like, "He didn't buy it for me, he bought it for you." I'm the one with the bar. I said, "No, no, no, no. Let me explain how this works. By law, you have half a bar. The good stuff's on my side." So now every time he comes in, he's like, "Okay, which one did you kill off?" So he goes and gets another one. And I like whiskey as Scotch. I don't care much for brandy. Uh, that's not a great liqueur, although that's what they used to give the women, I believe, was brandy. I don't care for it too much. Mm. I made a little bit of a mistake on tequila. At the time, I was stationed at Fort Sam Houston. Again, I was 3rd Battalion Bravo Company. And I got drunk. And I dance a lot. I think people have heard me say that. It was like ballroom dancing kind of thing. You have to have a good partner. And I don't know where these guys all came from that they could dance. I mean, I danced till my hair was wet. It was, yeah. And I ended up getting drunk one night on tequila. And I ended up not at my battalion, I ended up at 2nd Battalion Bravo. And the fire guards grabbed me to hide me because they knew this was going to go on my record if I got caught. I kind of sobered up when I found out I was at 2nd Battalion. 2nd Battalion was also all men. So they couldn't sneak me in with the women and have them sneak me out because it was back then in the 70s when this was, you didn't have a lot of women who had already been trained yet. And, now here 30, 40 years later, you got plenty of women. But back then, you didn't. I would have been maybe one of 20 women who were stationed there and as regular army. And myself used to fight over me to get me because then they didn't have to have 3 more guys. It's so cute. I always loved the ones I worked for. And I always worked for officers, so I never really got to wear fatigues except for when I trained the nurses for their 2 weeks of bivouac, which I had a hell of a lot of fun doing. That's the story. I should write that book. But the fire guys, we all had fire guard. They called it fire guard. That's another story too. But the long story long, the guys got me snuck out and got me back to 3rd Battalion, snuck me past that fire code, and got me to the section that was the women's barracks. And then they faded out, and I never got to thank them. I didn't know from Adam, and I never got to thank them. And I'm still sorry to this day that I didn't. They saved me a lot of problems. But that's the way it was. And they didn't. I hear now, oh, it's rape and it's this. And I don't. When I was in, I was treated as a sister. I was treated as a mom would be, anything like that. Not girlfriend. That didn't come up. If you were at the bar, in civilian clothes, that's a different story. They might ask you out or to dance for me in particular, but you didn't. They treated you with respect, basically. Okay, that's the bottom line. They treated you with the same respect that they did the colonel you worked for. And I was cadre, so I had quite a few chaperones of my own, which is why I got to run the nurses around for a couple of weeks. I love that shit. They sure didn't think that was fair because I wasn't technically an officer, which is why they called it cadre. Basically, the upshot was they didn't want to do it. I loved it. These things, my husband loves these because they go out. And he doesn't want me to smoke too much. So this is the only one I'm allowed today. And again, it just goes out. And when usually if I'm doing something else, I'll set it down and, you know, might take another 3 days before I get to light another one unless I'm doing my podcast. He's pretty good about that. Again, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. I really don't. It gets me up here. I don't have many, but the ones I have, I cherish you completely. You guys make it possible for me to get up and to come here and to talk to you when I only see myself. I'm not dropping videos. Um, I'm probably boring you to death, but you're all kind enough not to say so. So, again, throw it in the comments. I mean, anything that you want to hear about. As you can see, I'm a talkative woman, and that's putting that lightly. I can't say I know everything. I ain't going to try. But I'll drop it. I put it in the comments for you. I'll put the link in. It like I said, it's live chat. So if you missed the live stream, you can do it in comments, or you can go on over and you can put it in the chat. And usually I have one of my Chromebooks open so that I can see how chat's doing, or if I need to attend to it. Unless it's a day like today, and I see my time is about up today. So I don't know what to tell y'all. I really don't. There wasn't much as far as current events went. Reykjavik is in dire need of help. I didn't see anyone out there. NATO, uh, they wonder where NATO is in like the Ukraine and other countries. They're part of NATO. And again, they got one job, and every country pays them. That's it. Since they put it together after the League of Nations failed. Just a little history there. And we pay more than all of the other countries put together. We pay more, and yet they're not doing their job. Their job is you fight one, you fight everybody. The UN has, I mean the UN has a standing army. I don't believe NATO does, um, but at the same time, that's what they're supposed to be. And the Ukraine has been attacked. This is, I think, the third year. Also, the problem with this, guys, if you know your history, and I do, I'm a big buff of history. The Ukrainian land was always Russian. It was always Russian for many, many, many decades, centuries. Um, it was Russian. The Ukraine is also the breadbasket, basically, for Russia. In some cases, Europe. And now it's rubble. It's like Gaza. They didn't ask for the war. They were attacked. They begged for help. They got some help, and then the Israelis had started up with them. And they're wondering why, because the Israelis are not part of NATO. I didn't know that either until he said so. This guy was interviewed, the president, Zelensky. Um, And I adore it. He was so funny when he was on TV before all this mess. And they want to kill him. They're looking to kill him. They are sending assassins out to find him. And I dread the day I hear that because I believe they'll find him. Do you have things still want to? I keep thinking to myself, he needs to get out. He needs to get his wife and kids and himself and get out. He needs basically to either immigrate to Britain or to the U.S. But he won't leave his people, and I respect that too. I don't believe I know I wouldn't leave my people. I wouldn't be going, oh, see, I can leave. You guys got to die. I couldn't do it either. As far as fighting from the front, yeah, I would do the same thing, but not where I'm in that much danger because I'm trying to keep the army going. So I'm not going to go out and be cannon fodder, but I would be a front line just like he is. And they know this. Russia knows that he hasn't run off, that he's right there in the front lines. Same with the Israelis. Their officers lead them. The officers are not on the radio saying, go over here to your right, there's a tank. No, they lead them. So I have two countries that I'm so sorry for both that I can't really describe it. There are some times when I just cry when I see that, and I don't mean to. It's just, it starts, and you have to go do something else to watch them bring the bodies of the children out in body bags and to carry them in their little coffins. It just pierces my heart. And I really can't watch because I'll cry for hours. Just seeing a second of it, I got to turn it off because I know I'm not seeing this constantly because I can't take it. I can't. It's one thing. I can't watch as all these people are murdered, and what Russia's doing is wrong. They wanted to stay as they were. They wanted to be democratic. Everything else would have been the same. And, and as it had been, the Ukrainians in Russia, even though the Ukraine was now its own country, it had been for a while. I can't remember when they started, but they had no trouble from the Russians. Russians had no trouble with them, and suddenly they're attacking them. There was no warning. There was no why. There's no answers as to why they're taking the Ukraine. But oh God, so many cities have fallen. So many civilians have died. It's the same as the Israel's fight in Palestinians in Gaza. And you see rubble of an apartment building, and you see an arm out and his child, and you see blood everywhere. And I've done some of that work when I was in the military, and you don't fall apart right away, but you do fall apart because you just pulled 12 kids out, or a family of 5. I mean, it's horrific. It's very difficult on them. And they're also trying to find their hostages. And they begged over and over and over, release the hostages. We will talk. We will do a ceasefire. Leave the refugees out. And can't think of it now, but let them go. Let our people out. You've had them a year and a half or whatever it is now. Let them go. Do something. Now, they also said they would release the hostages, which is the word I couldn't think of a second ago. They would release the hostages, but one for 700 in their jail. And they gave a list of names, and every one of them were murderers. They had murdered Israelis over and over and over. And so that's why they were in jail. So they want them to let 700 murderers out, and they'll give them a hostage. And at this point, we do not know how many hostages are still alive. They're keeping them in the tunnels that are left. And that's in the Rafah district. It's the only place they haven't taken out all the tunnels. And that's why they have stopped at Rafah and they haven't gone forward yet. Because the hostages are in the tunnels. They know this. There's nowhere else they can keep them now. It's rubble. That's what I said I would have done. Yeah, it would have looked like Berlin in 45 if it had been me out there. There would have been no quarter. Not for the combatants, for the civilians, of course. But after what they did to our people, It doesn't matter if you're an American, if you're Canadian, if you're Mexican, if you're Puerto Rican, if you're Ukrainian. You do not go in and commit atrocities like these people did and film it and send it to their parents. They're beyond. These people are not soldiers. They're even a step above murderers. They slaughtered people on the 7th. They slaughtered them in horrific ways, and they thought of ways to do it worse. And again, live streamed it, sent it to parents. These people are evil. They are so evil. I wouldn't want to be in the same spot of space they were in. I wouldn't want to breathe the same air. These people are so evil, they have to go. We need to stand up as a nation and continue to support Israel and for the love of God, try to help the Ukrainians. There's more than America involved here. Where are the rest of the countries? You might not have, 500 missiles you can send, but you can help. You can send diapers, you can send formula, whatever. You don't always have to send munitions, although that is what they want us to see. And I see my time is up. So that's about the lecture I gave today. So tomorrow, I may not have the headband, but you probably still can't tell because the earphones. So I'm going to get ready and go on to my appointment because it's going to be fun for my day. I pray for Ukraine. I pray for Israel. And I stand with both. If you guys see or hear of something that, again, you want to see and hear here, if you want to talk to me here, oh God, I would love it. I would so love it. Please, if you get a chance and you do see me, like it, dislike it, I don't give a shit, just pick one. It's social Woodstock. We've got to get this off the ground. I want a voice. I want us all to have a voice. They took that voice from us because we all had to work and do college at the same time and didn't sleep for 10 years. It's time for us to stand up. It's the Boston Tea Party all over again. We got to stand up. This is not America anymore. They brought people in here, 11 million, who are killing, raping, so forth and so on. Fentanyl deaths are up at 300,000. I don't even know what that shit was. I only heard it in the last couple of years. I thought there was enough problems with drugs. No, they added a new one. But it's killing the hell out of Americans. I wish they'd be smart enough to say, oh, well, that killed my friend. I won't try it. But anyway, it's killing them. They're pulling babies out of the Rio Grande because somebody threw it in there because it wasn't theirs. It's just too much. Parents wrote their numbers down in indelible ink on their hands, on their shoes, on their arms, trying to make sure that they could, if they didn't get there with them, they could call them. Now, these people all seem to have phones, which is a good thing. But there are people dying out there. And it's not just the immigrants. They're raiding all along that border because they don't have nothing. And the way most of the laws are set up, like New York and so forth, because they were busted there. So now you can't buy in New York because the smash and grabs, there's no stores left. So let's pray for America too, because they're trying to start a civil war. They want a civil war. They want those of us who are such and such, say, darker skin tones, and against those with lighter skin tone. It's stupid that that's what they're trying to do, and they're doing a damn good job of it. Do not watch local news. You're being lied to. It's a talking head. It's politics. If you're going to be on TV anyway, look for a good one. CBN, it's a good one. That's a Christian broadcast network, CBN. Gordon is the son of his father, but they do not preach. They do not about the Bible. It's simply a news program, and he could be Walter Cronkite. He's very good. I like Gordon. I like IDF, but you're going to have problems watching it because they don't pull too many punches. They show you what's going on. It's hard to see on both sides. Um, the German news is also a good one for you guys, any of you, to listen to. As far as American political stations, they don't even tell you the blooming weather anymore. I mean, it's that bad. And these are stations we all grew up with. We hippies did. I didn't watch TV for 20 years. I didn't think you did either because we were working two jobs, college and kids. Um, but we do have some time now. We have time to say, knock it off. We have grandkids. I see these people marching and staying for weeks, DC or wherever. Somebody has to be paying them. And this was in the dead of winter, the last one I saw. Somebody has to be paying them. You can't find food, you can't do it, but you can march there poor, which is what they supposedly were. It takes money. Even if you say you marched there, you didn't. You took a bus, you took a train, you flew, whatever. And while you're there, you got to eat. You really have to go somewhere to sleep because it's 19 below. So this is being funded by somebody. Follow the damn money and stop this crap. As far as lobbyists, I would shoot them myself, and they wouldn't get a cigarette beforehand. I hate lobbyists, and I know them. Worked in D.C. a couple of years. I know them. These guys are just so. And the pharmaceutical companies, all these are our enemies. If there's no money in a cure, guys, they're going to keep running you through some medicine. And by the way, if they tell you you have cancer and they want to put chemo on your ass, tell them to stick it up their ass because it's poison. It kills everything in your body. And they say, oh, well, one cell might be able to replicate. It doesn't die. Don't do the chemo. Don't. Kombucha tea and other things help a lot with that. And if you are on pain medication, I know I'm over dandelions. If you can render them down and you do all that, there's a book on that. Look it up. Uh, it's stronger than morphine. So if you're in that kind of pain, you can even make your own pain medicine and still deal with this. I had a scare not long ago. I had to go in and check. I've had 6 breast surgeries myself, so I know what I'm talking about. You don't have to have a mastectomy, most likely. You may not have to have but a small lumpectomy or something at this time if you also help yourself. Your your body can heal itself, but you gotta want it to. You gotta believe you can do it. You gotta see it covered in blue light, surrounded by white light. Watch what you eat. Don't eat the poison food they send us. Don't eat out because that stuff is nasty. I know we do it too. But if you're, and when I went through cancer, these things worked for me, and they worked for my husband because I made him do the same thing. I made the tinctures myself, and this is what I applied, and he's alive. You won't find a cat four. I've never seen anybody with stage 4 throat cancer, stage 4 anything make it. Never. The doctors sent hospice to our house the day he came home from the hospital. They didn't expect him to have 6 weeks. And that was 6 or 7 years ago. So get the book. You'll see it. If you want to know more about that, send me a message. I will put a link in there for you. It's a fairly expensive book, but it identifies all the plans, tells you how to do it, how much to use, how to prepare it. You can recognize the plant from the pictures and so forth. It's an excellent book. You really should have it, just period. You'll find that you're going to feel a lot better if you do things for yourself that the pharmaceutical companies are not doing. They're just taking your money. And it's time for a lot of that to change. So come up to see me. It's Woodstock. Let's show them some love and peace because our kids, our grandkids, they need us. They need us to at least be able to leave this behind us and say they did care. They cared. They tried. They said so. I think that that's a really good thing to leave behind. So I'm proud of the fact that I have a chance here. And with your help, I'm going to make it. Because hippies stick together, just like we veterans. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you don't like me. Say so. Come and sit at the bar with me. And now I got to run because I'm going to go to the salon. I'm going to have my hair done. I hope you guys come and see me. Love y'all. Come and see me again. Try to have a great day, guys. It's beautiful out here. Love y'all. Toodles.